Hello, air signs. Happy Monday. Welcome to your daily focus tarot. So, the two cards that came out initially were Cernunnos, which in other decks is known as the Devil, and Strength. So, the Devil card, you'll notice that the lovers are here sleeping in the grove, very quietly, very restful, and then he's kind of lurking. He's got one eye that's glowing right here, if you can see it, and the other eye is it's either closed like he's winking or it's hidden. Now, Cernunnos, there's a lot of interpretations of this, so he can be considered like the devil, and the devil isn't necessarily like the Christian devil. It talks about like temptations, it talks about being obsessed with the material instead of with like spiritual. You're obsessed with like growing material things, or you've got addictions. You've not explored your shadow self and not made the jump into a higher being, into having more maturity. So with the lovers here, and the lovers being about choices, sometimes choices between two things and having that balance, and with Cernunnos being about being more in the world, you'll notice he's dark. I mean, this is your shadow self. These are dealing with things that are not out in the light. They're in your unconscious. You know, the devil is your unconscious. The devil is things that you hide even from yourself, that you either fear dealing with or you fear knowing them. You don't want to bring them out into the light. The light is behind him. It's almost making him glow the way that the light is shining on him, and it's making him glow because this is where you need to put your focus. You need to put your focus on your shadow self, on overcoming it, on thinking like, well, why do I have addictions? Why do I want more material things and not spiritual things, right? And the clarifier was the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups, this is talking about, well, it can be talking about like unrealistic desires and daydreaming. It's a card of possibility. It's also a card about your personal values. I'll read to you a bit from the Druidcraft. It is possible you are experiencing a time when you are feeling seduced by a number of different ideas and possibilities, but are finding it hard to decide which way to proceed. Or there may be a number of propositions in the air, but be cautious, they could well evaporate. By simply being patient and waiting, you will discover whether any of them are likely to be lasting. It is also possible you have inadvertently slipped from exploring potential or visions to merely daydreaming. An activity that might have begun as goal planning or an exploration of the inner world may have become confusing or simply a waste of your energy, plunging you into a world of illusion. Now, to me, this particular Seven of Cups is about greed. It's about wearing a mask. You know, it can be about like keeping up with the Joneses type of thing. And it's slowly killing you with that skull there. It's transforming you into something you're not with the mask here as well. So this combined with the devil, this to me is saying you need to look at, this card can be about living in your values and how you're not living in your values because you've let other people and other things influence you. Like influencing you emotionally. Like so many addictions and obsessions have to do with not having your emotions in balance, not knowing how to deal with things on an emotional and a spiritual level. You can intellectualize that you are hurt. Whatever the reason you are hurt, you can intellectualize that. You can use your head over your mind. But if you don't deal with the emotional, if you don't deal with the, or head over heart, I mean, if you don't deal with your heart, then it's just going to keep happening. It may change form. The addiction may go from, say, alcoholism to coffee addiction, which is quite common nowadays. It may go from smoking one type of cigarette to vaping or to chewing gum all the time. So the other card that we have that came out initially was Strength. And this is a card about your inner strength. This is a card about being passionate and conquering the things that you fear, the things that are holding you back, using your inner knowing to conquer those things. Not feeling like you have to be defensive about it to anybody else. You might have to be defensive about it to yourself. You know, like I said, you might have to go, hey, what's the real reason I'm addicted to this thing? What's the real reason that I'm so materialistic, that I'm so obsessed with something, that I feel so, I need so much escapism in my life? And you may have to confront yourself. So this is having the inner strength to do that. Now the clarifier for this card was Judgment in reverse. And Judgment typically refers to like Judgment Day. You know, the Christian thinking of, in the upright, you have left stuff in the material world. The soul has left the body because it no longer needs the body. It's raised above that, right? Raised above that. So Judgment in the reverse is the exact opposite. It is like a stagnation. It's holding on to things that you don't need, things that are weighing you down, things that are harming you. Sometimes they say it's ignoring the call. The call would be the call to change, the call to do what you're meant to do. It can also be a blockage. It can be a rejection. To me, this is about you having the strength to change, but you feel like you don't have that strength. You feel like you don't have that knowledge or that ability to change, but you actually do. You do have the strength. You do have the ability to communicate both internally with yourself and externally to make that change. You have the language that you need for that change. You can overcome the devil, whatever the devil represents for you, be it a person, be it an addiction, be it something like a job or a living situation that's toxic in your life. You have the ability to overcome it. I just want you to remember that. Okay? Have a great Monday. I'll see you tomorrow.